Here's a radio that I spent all of $1 on at the flea market. I'm probably going to have a hard time eating for the rest of the month because I spent so much money on this. But anyway, this is a Jade AM pocket transistor radio made in Hong Kong, probably from the late 1960s, possibly mid-60s. One thing on here, you may not be able to see it, but it proudly boasts on the front of this radio that this is a 12 transistor radio. Really. It has 12 transistors in it, but this is a form of deceptive advertising, which I will demonstrate. And they were nice enough to include a schematic diagram in the back of the radio, which makes the deception stand out like a sore thumb. Start at the front of the radio and work our way towards the speaker. These two transistors here are wired in parallel. It does absolutely no good electrically or electronically to have these two transistors in parallel. That's just to increase the transistor count. This transistor is wired as a diode, as is this transistor right here. There's another transistor wired as a diode. Two more transistors here. And there's our audio output transistors and another transistor wired as a diode. So even though it may proclaim to have 12 transistors in it, which it does, the actual performance of the radio is the equivalent of a 6 transistor radio that has its 6 transistors in an honest circuit configuration. They did this on cheap radios to make them more enticing. When people saw 12 or 16 transistor, they thought, oh, this is a good radio. And when in reality it really wasn't. And before long the Federal Trade Commission jumped in and said, no, you can't do that. You can only count transistors that are actually wired as transistors in a functional circuit. So that took care of the practice of falsely counting transistors. Okay, I've never even tried this. Let's put a 9-volt battery in it and see if it miraculously works. Okay, battery installed. Let's see what happens. And it is totally dead as a doornail, which is not surprising. Most likely bad capacitors, but we won't fool with that right now. So yep, deceptive advertising was in existence even back in the 1960s and probably before. But there you go. Thanks for watching, and more to come later.